Hello guys. So today we are going to discuss about accounts for banking. Under the accounts for banking, we are going to discuss about preparation of financial statement. Okay. So under the preparation of financial statement, what is financial statement generally? Actually, financial statement is nothing but your P&L, balance sheet, cash flow statement. These are the things actually we'll call it as financial statement. The purpose of financial statement is what actually? So I am not going to discuss more about what is final accounts, what is P&L, balance sheet. I hope all of you know the meaning already. So the general purpose is to knowing the performance of the company, to knowing the state of the affairs of the company. We have to present this financial statement. Okay. So accounting for banking, under that they have given separate balance sheet format, P&L format for preparation of financial statement. There is a common format. There is a common format for all the companies. For all the companies, there is a common format. That is Schedule 3 under the Companies Act. That is Schedule 3 under the Companies Act. So any normal company other than banking company or any other companies, general companies has to follow the Schedule 3 preparation of financial statement. You have a separate chapter for that we will discuss later. But the point is, if it is a banking company, they need to follow the Banking Regulation Act. They need to follow the Banking Regulation Act as well as the Companies Act. So as per the Banking Regulation Act, they have given a separate format for preparation of financial statement for banking companies. Okay, so under the preparation of financial statement, as per your institute material, you have majorly two portions actually. One is balance sheet. One is balance sheet form A and P&L form B. They are calling balance sheet as a form A and P&L they are calling as a form B. Please remember for 1 mark purpose. Okay. Under the form A, that is under the balance sheet, you have around 12 items. That is schedule number 1 to 12. You have around 12 items. That is schedule number 1 to 12. Under the P&L, they have given around schedule 13 to 16. Okay, you have around 13 to 16. Around you have some 5 to 6 items. We will discuss that. So the point is, what is balance sheet? Normally, it contains assets and liabilities of the company. And P&L, what is the purpose of P&L? You know, to know the operational status of the company. For example, what is the income, what is the expenses, and what is the ultimate net profit. That is the purpose of P&L. Okay. So now our objective is mostly on presentation part. Institute material, you please refer. I will also show you the material later. So before that, I just wanted to discuss the P&L and balance sheet. Before that, I just wanted to discuss with you the P&L balance sheet. So we are discussing about the banking companies. For any business, for any nature of business, you should be able to think their business first. Banking means what? What is the purpose of banking? In banking, what job they will do? So normally they will collect deposit from the customer and they will provide loans to the customers. That is the major two activity happened in the banking industry, right? So the point is, if they provide loans to the customer, what is the benefit to the banks? Because of the providing loans to the customer, what is the benefit to the bank? What is the purpose of providing loans? To generate income. How they will generate income? By charging interest to the customers. So the point is, what is the purpose of profit and loss account? To present the income, to present the expense, to present the income and expenses of the bank. That is the purpose of P&L account, correct? To present the income and expenses incurred or occurred during the year. Okay, that we have to present as a form B P&L. Okay. For exact format, you please refer the material. I am writing here only for discussion purpose. Okay. So logically, general P&L, what we will do? We have to put sales, then expenses, then profit. Correct. So here we have to follow the vertical format. Here we have to write the things in vertical format. Okay. So as per the input material format, the first thing is I am writing the form B first, then I will go to the form A. I am writing the form B because from income only profit is generated, from profit only it is transferred to balance sheet. So I am going by the process. So the point is, so P&L as per the material format, the first item is income. Under the income, I am a banking company. What is the income, major income for me? I am the banking company. So the major income is interest income, because my business is finance business, my business is lending business, my business is providing loans to customers. So my income will be majorly on interest basis only. So how do I will generate interest? Once I gave the loan, customer will repay the interest back. That is interest income, correct? So under the income, I will write first thing as interest earned. Okay, that is my schedule 13. Then other income, miscellaneous income. That is schedule 14. Interest earned from providing loans to customer, or else discount income. Previous class we discussed rebate on bill discounting. Discount income generated during the year should be credited to P&L account, correct? That also will come under the interest earned category. Okay. Then what about other income? Might be other than interest, what all the income you are generating, like for example DD commission, you have processing fees, okay, documentation fees, while processing the loan we have to collect processing fees, that is also an income. Likewise many income is available. Under the schedule 13 and 14 breakup will be there at the material, please refer. In 13, under the schedule 13, what are the interest means, what are the types of interest they will give. Under the 14, other income, what are the other income they will provide. Okay, my objective is to present the form A and form B schedule, in-depth schedule you please go through. Examination point of view, form A and form B little bit more important. They normally test the basic level, which is available at your input material also. So the question is also available in the input material, we will solve later. Okay, so this is your income. So add all the income, you will get the total. Okay, so the next thing is income is over. Next thing is expenses. So expenses, I am a banking company, my major income is interest. When I will get interest? When I will give loan I will get interest. When I will get other income? When I do other services apart from providing loan, like locker rent I will collect from my customer, processing fees I will collect from my customer. Likewise there are many other income available, rental income. Likewise I have many other income. Okay, so expenses, my major activity is two things. One is accepting deposits and other one is providing loan. If I accept deposit from my customer, what I have to pay? I have to pay interest fixed deposit. If I collect deposit from the customer, I have to pay fixed deposit. I have to pay the interest, correct? Even for savings account also I have to pay interest, correct? So what is my major expenses? My major expenses will be mostly interest expenses. My major income is also interest. My major expenses also interest. Okay, when I will give loan I will get interest income. When I will accept deposit I have to pay interest. That is my expenses. So interest expended. Okay, thing is 15, schedule number 15. Then so if I want to do business, I have to generate money, I have to earn interest income, other income, I have to pay my deposit holder interest expenses, and also apart from interest expenses, what are the other expenses I will incur in a bank? Any business, what are the things I will incur? I have to pay salary to my employees, I have to pay rent to my office, I have to provide depreciation, I have to pay administration expenses, I have to incur administration expenses, I have to incur lot of expenses, right? To operate my business, to operate my bank, to operate my bank branch, I have to incur operating expenses. So that is the next schedule. Operating expenses. That is schedule 16. Okay. So with this, income minus expenses equal to profit and loss. Income minus expenses equal to profit and loss. That is, under the profit and loss you have net profit for the year, present year. Year means net profit for the present year, and net profit brought forward. Net profit or loss also, not only profit, loss also. Okay, loss. Net profit brought forward. Previous year opening balance net profit. Okay, opening balance net profit plus current year net profit. Okay, so with this is over. Income minus expenses equal to net profit for the current year plus opening balance net profit equal to total profit. Then what I have to do is, I have to do some compulsory transfer to statutory reserve. From every year profit, I have to transfer some money. What is that some money? Transfer to 25% reserve fund. Remember, for 1 mark also. Transfer to 25% reserve fund. Okay. From current year profit only, I have to transfer every year 25% to reserve fund. That is compulsory under the Banking Regulation Act. That is compulsory under the Banking Regulation Act. Okay. And after this, transfer to any other reserve, and after this proposed dividend, then you will arrive closing balance. Okay. So I will explain again. Form B, P&L. Think about the business first. My business is banking business, so my income should be interest income, because I am providing loan to my customer. So income, under the income I will put first thing definitely interest earned, that is my schedule 13. Then any other income I will classify under schedule 14. Then after the income I have to present the expenses. Correct. So under the expenses, think about again business. This is banking business. What is the major expenses I will incur? I have to pay interest to my deposit holder. That is should be my major expenses. So interest expended, schedule 15. So other than major expenditure, I have to operate my business. For operation I have to incur many expenditure: salary, depreciation, administration, printing and stationery, rent, like any other expenses should be categorized under the operating expenses, schedule 16. Then income minus expenses equal to P&L. So that is net profit for the year, current year. Then I will be having some opening balance profit also, that I will put here. So current year profit plus opening balance equal to total profit. Then transfer to 25%. Transfer to 25% of reserve fund. Okay. Transfer to 25% of reserve fund. Why reserve fund? Why 25%? This is rule. This is act. So we are transferring from the current year profit. From the current year profit alone, we have to transfer 25% of the reserve fund. Okay. So after that, transfer to any other reserve. If anything is there, we have to transfer. Then if you want to pay dividend, you pay dividend from the current year total profit. Then after paying all these things, whatever the balance available, that should be your closing balance. Please go through the instrument material format. Okay. Please go to the instrument material format. So with this, we'll move to the balance sheet. We'll move to the explanation of balance sheet. So the next thing is Form A. Form A. This is actually this is how we have to start. Form A, then Form B, For explanation purpose, I discussed Form B first. Okay. So Form A, balance sheet. So schedule, as I said, 1 to 12 is balance sheet, then 13 to 16 is P&L. Okay. So 1 to 12 is balance sheet. So schedule number I am going to write, and amount also you have to write. I am going to explain the format. So we are going to write the balance sheet now. What is balance sheet? You know, assets and liabilities it should contains assets and liabilities. We are into the business of banking. So and under the balance sheet, the heading is capital and liabilities. Heading is capital and liabilities. Okay. So capital and liabilities, that is the heading. We are going to discuss the liability side first. So any business, generally the first thing will be share capital. The first thing will be capital. Okay. They have to put their own money first. That is share capital. Correct. So capital is your schedule 1. Then after capital, what is the next thing? Share capital. Then I hope all of you understood, aware about all these things already. Reserves and surplus. Profit generated during the year, general reserve, capital return, any type of reserve should be transferred to, should be present as reserves and surplus. So my first thing is capital, that you know already. Reserves and surplus should be scheduled 2. That also we know already, because this is for any company, not only banking company. This is the procedure, this is the format for any company. Okay. So capital and reserves and surplus. So what about schedule 3? Capital, reserves and surplus. What should be the next liability for this banking company? What is their major liability? What is their major income? Tell me first. What is their major income? Tell me. Interest income is the major income for them. How they will get the interest income? By loans. Correct? If they provide loans, they will get the interest income. Likewise, what is their major expenses? Interest expenses is their major expenses. Correct? How they will, when they will incur interest expenses? If they accept deposits, deposit from the customer, they have to pay interest expenses. While maturity of deposit, they have to repay the deposit also. That is their liability. Bankers, if they accept deposit from the customer, that they have to repay to the deposit holders back. Correct? On the maturity date, they have to repay. So the major liability is deposits. Okay. Next, schedule number 4. So first one is capital, second one is reserves and surplus, third one is deposits, fourth one is schedule 4. What is that? So fourth one, deposit is for customer. If I receive money from customer, then that is deposit. Then what else I will do? Liability. What are the liability I can generate generally? How can I get money? Borrowings from other banks or borrowings from RBI. All these things. So schedule 4 is my borrowings. So capital, reserves and surplus, deposits is my liability. I have to repay to customer. Borrowings is from other banks or anyone else. I have to present as the borrowings. So all the major things are covered. The schedule 5 belongs to other liabilities and provisions. Schedule 5 belongs to other liabilities and provisions. Okay. Other liabilities and provision. That is my schedule 5. So with this, your liability side is over. Okay. Then come to the asset side. Here your memory power is also required actually. You have to memorize certain things. This format, this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same manner you have to present. Normally if they ask, not very much important for examination, but if they ask, they will test the format, how you are presenting the figures. That is the expectation. Okay, capital, reserves and surplus, deposits, borrowings, then others, loan, other liabilities and provision. Okay, schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then asset sides. Come to the asset side. Please memorize, please remember. Logically also you try to understand, and also by memory also you try to remember, as well as logical. Both is required here. Okay. Sometimes even if you forget the figures, by logical you can get the answer. By logically you can write the format also. But for that you should be able to think about the business. So assets. So without thinking much, I am writing the figures. Assets means normally you know fixed assets, current asset, plant and machinery, building, all those things. But for banking business, little bit different. The presentation is little bit different. Presentation is very, very important. Okay. Presentation in the sense, same manner you have to write. Capital means capital 1 is capital. Reserves and surplus 2 means you have to write reserves and surplus 2. Deposits 3 means you have to write deposits 3. You should not interchange the figures. As per the format you have to write, which is available at the instrument material. So as per the format, as per the rules and regulations, 6th schedule is cash and balance with RBI. Cash and balance with RBI. So how much cash and balance I am keeping with my RBI or Reserve Bank of India? How much cash I am keeping? That is my schedule 6. Okay. Then 7. What is 7? This is only money with RBI. I have a separate schedule 6. If I have money with other banks, balance with banks and money at call and short notice. So if I have a balance with RBI, that is separate schedule 6. If I have a balance with other banks, I have to write plus money at call. Anytime it is encashed into it can be converted into cash. That is money at call. Okay. Anytime we can convert this this instrument into cash. Okay. So balance with banks at money at call and short notice. These things are like an instrument which you can convert into cash anytime. So 7, that is schedule 7. Okay. Then what about 8? 8 is investments. Investment in land or investment in building or investment in shares. Everything should be present under the investment. You please go through the breakup for 8. You please go through the breakup for 7. You please go through the breakup for 6. Schedule, there is a separate breakup which is given in the instrument material. You please go through one time. Okay. So 9. What is the 9? What might be the 9 actually? Guess what is the business of banking? One is accepting deposits from the customer, and another one is providing loans and advances to customer. Loans and advances to customer. If I provide loans and advances, then only I can generate the interest income. So my next 9 is actually advances. Advances means loans and advances provided to customer. Okay. Then what about 10? 10 is, if I want to run a business, if I want to run a banking company, I should have a computer, I should have a furniture, I should have a building, I should have all other equipments, electrical equipments, AC, everything I should have in my bank. Then only I can run my company. Then only I can run my bank branch. So fixed assets. Fixed assets is my schedule 10. Okay. Fixed assets is my schedule 10. Then what about schedule 11? If you have any other assets, then present under the, if they have any other assets apart from the fixed assets, then that should be presented on the maybe current assets. All the current assets or any other assets should be present under the 11. Okay, schedule number 11. Then the balance sheet is 95% over. Liability is completed, assets is completed, up to 11 schedule number completed. Then you have something called 12, schedule number 12. Schedule number 12 is basically contingent liabilities. Contingent liability, that is your schedule number 12. Okay, what is this contingent liability? Contingent liability, like you take bank guarantee. I explained one of the banking problem. I explained acceptance, bank guarantee, refer our one of the problem. I gave the link in my previous video also. Please refer the link available in the Google photos. Okay, please refer our YouTube video part 3. In there below I gave the link also. You please click and understand. So what is this contingent liability? Bank guarantee. What is this bank guarantee? If the customer not performs the contract, then banker has to settle the third party. Okay, if the customer is not performing the contract, then banker has to settle the third party. Or else you assume one court case. There is a case against the company, there is a case against the bank which is pending under the court. Okay, if the court announce the decision against the bank na, then this bank has to pay one bulk amount to the third party. For example, 1 crore penalty is claimed against the bank which is under the court. Okay, so contingent liability means what? Court decision may be in the favor of bank or it may not be in the favor of the bank. You got it or not? If it may not be in the favor of the bank, then it is a liability for the bank. Correct? They have to pay 1 crore to the third party. But the court decision is pending. Court decision is pending means it is under the discussion. Court has not finalized the decision. Anything might happen. It may or may not happen. If the things are not under the control of the banker and the liability amount is not also certain. Okay? And also the future event may or may not happen. Future event may or may not happen. Amount is also uncertain. Okay, that event is not controlled by the banker. Then it is a contingent liability. You can't account here. Asset is, you have already presented the liability. You have already presented the asset. It is tallied. Okay. Apart from this figure, extra additionally you are writing these figures. Thing is, contingent liability may or may not payable by the banker. It depends on the various factors and circumstances which is not under the control of the banker. Okay, bank guarantee is one of the example. They will issue bank guarantee on behalf of the customer. If customer fails to perform the contract, then only banker will pay to the third party, otherwise they will not pay. So that is my schedule 12. Okay, so then one more thing is bills for collection. Okay, this also one thing, but for this you don't have any schedule number. Up to schedule 12 only it is given. So for bills for collection there is no schedule. Okay, so as per discussion, two things. One is form B, that is P&L account. Form A is for balance sheet. So form A, balance sheet, what is the first item? Capital, schedule 1, resource and surplus, schedule 2, deposit, schedule 3, borrowing, schedule 4, other liabilities and provision, schedule 5, cash, and then come to the asset side, cash and bank balance with the RBI, schedule 6, balances with the banks and money at the call and short notice, schedule 7, investment, schedule 8, advances, schedule 9, fixed assets, schedule 10, other assets, schedule 11, then balance sheet, liability asset is tallied, then additional extra item, this should not be part of the liabilities and asset, it should be outside the balance sheet. As an extra item you have to write the figures. Contingent liability, schedule 12, bills for collection, no schedule number. Okay, so with this your balance sheet is over. Then what about P&L? Just go through the P&L video also. Okay, now we will go to the problem directly. So this is your material format. Just for your understanding, I am just showing this one. Please go through. Form A, form of balance sheet, capital and liabilities. Under the capital and liabilities you have capital, schedule number 1, resource and surplus, schedule 2, deposit schedule 3, borrowing schedule 4, other liabilities and provision schedule 5, cash and balances with RBI schedule 6, balances with bank and money at call and short notice schedule 7, investment schedule 8, advances schedule 9, fixed assets schedule 10, other assets is schedule 11. You please correct it, okay? Then contingent liability schedule 12, then bills for collection, no schedule number, okay? Why I am repeating like this? Because you know the meaning for capital, you know the resource and surplus meaning, you know the meaning for deposits, but the point is how we are going to present these items, how you are going to present this item as per the format. That is what requirement, that is what required under the examination. How you are presenting the items correctly, that is very very important. This is more about presentation, please think. That is why I am reading all these things. You have to memorize and you have to also try to understand the things are logically, okay? What is the meaning of all those items also you should try to understand, and most important thing is you have to present this as it is in examination, okay? So this is your form A. So after the form A you have form B. That also we discussed. Under the form B you have income, under the income interest earned is schedule 13, other income schedule 14, interest expended, under the interest expended, under the expenditure you have interest expended, that is schedule 15, operating expenses schedule 16. Then one more thing, provision contingencies, which we have not covered in our workings. Please remember that also. For that there is no schedule number. Please remember, interest expenses is 15, operating expenses is 16, provision contingency no schedule number. It is given little bit wrongly, so please correct it, okay? Even you can cross check also. I will show you how to cross check. So profit and loss, after that you have net profit for the year, profit and loss brought forward, then out of that profit you transfer to statutory reserve, then other reserve, proposed dividend, balance sheet and everything. So schedules is explained here. Schedule capital reserves and deposits, borrowings, others, liabilities, provision 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, up to 12 only it is given. Contingent liability, bills for collection, no numbers, schedule number. Then come to P&L account, interest earned. What is the interest earned? What are the things included? Please go through. It includes interest, discount on advance bills, interest, income on investment, interest on balance with RBI, everything, okay? Other income, normally it includes commission, exchange and brokerage, profit on sale of investment, profit on revaluation of investment, all these things. Expenditure, interest expended, operating expenses, up to schedule 16 only it is given. There is no schedule 17. You please simply write provision for bad debts. Provision, what are the provision? It is you write under the provisions and contingencies, okay? So it is up to schedule 16, okay? There is nothing called schedule 17. So you can present that provision and contingency as a separate item without schedule number, okay? So then profit and loss appropriation, this is the breakup for next page. This is the breakup for schedule 1, schedule 2. You please go through roughly. Examination point of view, not very important, but you please go through. They might test any one area, not all the schedule. They might test out of the 16 schedule. They will normally test some around 2 to 3 schedules in examination, okay? For examples, operating expenses, interest expenses, income, other income, all these area they used to normally test. And also capital, resource and surplus, these areas and all they will use to test, okay? Better what I suggest is you please go through all the schedule for your understanding. This is nothing but it requires your memory power. here your memory power is tested. I will go to the problem now. So first problem is preparation of P&L, that is illustration 11. So what is the thing actually? The following are figures examined from books of Y Bank, Scheduled Commercial Bank as on 31/3/2030. This is the thing, and they have given a lot of information, provision for. So I will go through all the information first. Okay. First item is what? Interest and discount received. Whenever you are reading the question, whenever you are reading the particular item, you should decide whether it is an income or expenditure, or whether it is an asset or liability. Okay. Where we have to present, which schedule number, all the things you should remember, all the things you should try to guess while reading the question itself. Okay. So interest and discount received, what item it is? It is an P&L item or balance sheet item? It is a P&L item, whether it is an income or expenses, whether it is an income because interest and discount is received, hence it is an income. Okay. So what we should do? It's an income. Which schedule number it is actually? Up to schedule 12 belongs to balance sheet, correct? Form A balance sheet. Up to schedule 13 to 16 belongs to P&L, correct? So interest and discount income received is on schedule 13, interest income. It is an interest income, so it is a P&L item, schedule 13. What is the next item? Interest paid on deposits. Interest paid is an interest expenses. Interest expenses is also P&L item. Schedule 13 is what? Interest income. Schedule 14 is what? Other income. Schedule 15 is what? Interest expenses. So interest paid is an interest expenses, so it is schedule 15. Correct? Like this you have to think. First, what item it is? It is a P&L item, whether it is a balance sheet item, whether it is an asset item, whether it is a liability item, whether it is an income item, whether it is an expenses item. That you have to decide first. Then which schedule number? That also you should decide now itself. Then your answer you can prepare easily. While reading the question itself, if you are able to think this, then you can write the answer easily. Okay. For this type of problem, this is very required. While reading the question itself, you should judge the answer and implication, and where will be effect also. Okay. So that you need not to read the question again. Issued and subscribed capital. What item it is? It is actually, it's a balance sheet item. Correct? It's a balance sheet item. And capital, they have given capital itself. So it's a capital item. Capital item is which schedule number? Schedule number 1. It's a schedule number 1. Okay. Then what about next item? Reserve. Reserve means reserves and surplus. Which item? Balance sheet item. Which schedule it is? Schedule number 2. Correct. Commission, exchange and brokerage. Commission, exchange and brokerage. So commission, exchange and brokerage we have given, and we have gone through where actually? Commission income, exchange, brokerage, commission, everything we have given under the other income category. I think it is scheduled. It is a P&L item. First of all, you have to decide it's a P&L item, whether it is an income or expenses. Assume this is an income. So other income. Other income means which category? I think it is schedule 14. Schedule 13 is interest income. Schedule 14 is other income. Interest earned is schedule 13. Other income is schedule 14. I believe it is schedule 14. We will go through the answer later. Then what about the next item? Rent received. Rent received might be other income. Schedule 14 will come. Profit on sale of investment. It is an income or expenses? Income. Might be this is also other income. Schedule 14. Then salaries and allowances. Expenses. Under the expenses, how many expenses you have? Schedule 14. Schedule 15 is what? Schedule 15 is interest expenses. Schedule 16 is what? Operating expenses. If I want to operate, I have to pay salary. If I want to operate, I have to provide depreciation. If I want to operate, I have to pay rent. If I want to operate, I have to pay all other expenses. So salaries and allowances and operating expenses. Like this, director fee. Director fee is similar to salary. This is also an operating expenses. In schedule 16, rent and taxes expenses. It is also Schedule 16. All these items are Schedule 16 item, because all these items are covered under the operating item, operating expenses. You please refer our schedule breakup also, input material schedule breakup also. Please refer all these items presented under the operating expense schedule 16. Okay. So come to the workings, adjustments. What is the first adjustment? Provision for bad and doubtfuls. So expenses should be debited to P&L account, and it should be debited to P&L account. Okay. Under the provisions and contingency, after the schedule 16, you have one more item. Without schedule number. Provisions and contingencies. I guess we have to present under the provisions and contingencies. We will work out the answer. Okay. Then what about the next item? Rebate on bill discounting. 31/3/2013, 7,500. Rebate on bill discount. What is the meaning? Please refer our previous videos. In part 3 video, below that I gave the link for part 1 and part 2. You please click the part 3 video of banking. In that on that below there is a link for Google Photo. In there I have given part 1, part 2. Okay. This rebate on bill discounting is part 2 video basically. It is part 2 video. Please understand what is rebate on bill discounting from there. Now I will explain again here. So rebate on bill discounting is an income which is not belongs to the present year. Rebate on bill discounting is an income which is not belongs to the present year. This is next year income due to accrual basis, due to time basis, due to period basis. Because this interest is earned on the next period only. So this 7,500 is an income, is not the present year income. This 7,500 is not the present year income. So out of the total income, interest and discount is 20,30,000. We have to reduce this 7,500. We have to reduce this 7,500 because this 7,500 is not belongs to the present year income. This is belongs to the next year income. Assuming this 20,30,000 is included, this 7,500. Hence, I have to reduce from 20,30,000. I have to reduce this 7,500. Okay, and in my P&L account. Okay. Then provide 3,50,000 of income tax. Meaning, I have under the provisions and contingency, I have to write this figure. After schedule 16, there is one more thing, provisions and contingencies. Under that, I have to write this 3,50,000. After that, what? Directors decide to declare 10% dividend. Where I have to present proposed dividend. After profit, remember our format. After our profit and loss for the current year, after the brought forward profit and loss brought forward from the previous year, we have to transfer to which reserve? We have to transfer 25% to reserve fund. After that, we have to provide dividend also as per the format. So 10% dividend we have to provide. Where we have to provide? What is this 10% meaning? From share capital we have to provide 10%. From say face value we have to provide 10%. Face value is given here or not given? Total capital is given. Total capital is how much? Issued and subsidiary capital. 5 lakh is my total capital. So 5 lakh into 10%. 50,000 is my dividend. Okay. So this is the question understanding. Based on this we have to work out the problem. I will work out the problem now. You please go through the question from the input material. I will work out the problem. You please take your material and go through the question. Okay. So I am writing the answer now. I am working out the answer. Form B. Form B, P&L. Question is preparation of P&L only, not balance sheet. Question is about only we have to prepare the P&L. So as per the P&L, first heading is income. So income is your first heading. Under the income you have first schedule number 13. What is schedule number 13? Interest earned is schedule number 13. What is the total interest? 20 lakh 35,000. Correct. So instead of writing like this, prepare a working note. Prepare a working note. Better prepare a working note. Working note 1. What is the working note 1? Interest earned is how much? Interest earned equal to how much? Total interest earned 20 lakh 30,000. 20 lakh 30,000 is interest earned minus rebate on bills discounting. As I said, rebate on bill discounting means this income is not belongs to the present year, this income is belongs to the next year. We should recognize this 7,500 as income only. 7,500, okay, 7,500 is not an income for the present year, so it should not be credited to P&L account for the present year, it should be credited to P&L account for the next year only. So from present year P&L account, if it is already credited, so we have to reduce this 20 lakh 22,500. 20 lakh 22,500 is my net income. 20 lakh 30,000 is my total interest earned, out of which rebate on bill discounting is 7,500. I have already explained what is the meaning of rebate on bill discounting. Please refer our part 2 video which is available in YouTube, and in part 3 please go to the part 3 video. In that you please click below. I have given the link also for part 2. You please click the part 2 related to rebate on bill discounting. Okay, so 20 lakh 22,500 is my income. 20 lakh 22,500. 20 lakh 22,500 is my interest earned. Schedule 13 is over. Schedule 13 is over. Instead of writing here, we can write here amount 20 lakh 22,500. Okay. What is the next one? Interest earned is over. Then other income. What is your other income? Schedule 14 is for other income. What are the other income available in the question? How many other income is available in the question? As per our reading, what all other incomes we have gone through? Brokerage, commission and other things we have gone through. So what I suggest is, for actual schedule 14 you please refer the input material. I will be directly writing here. For actual schedule 14 you please refer the input material. In that we have to write one by one. I will present the answer also to you. For our working purpose I am writing here. So what are the 3 items? Already we discussed in the question. Commission plus rent received plus net profit on sale of investment. Commission plus rent received plus net profit on sale of investment. How much? If you add all the 3 items, how much will come? 2,15,000. I will show you the answer also. I will show you the input material answer. For our working purpose, for the time constraint, I am just writing simple words. I am writing in an abbreviated manner. I am writing. Okay. What is our first thing? Next thing. First thing is interest earned, interest income 13. Schedule 14 other income. Then income is over. If you add, how much is coming? 500, 700, 23 lakh. How much it is? 22 lakh 37,500. 22 lakh 37,500. Correct. 22 lakh 37,500. Income is over. Come to expenses. I apologize for poor handwriting. So better your handwriting should be in a better manner. That is also counted in examination. So always try to write in a better handwriting. Okay. Expenses. What is the first schedule? Schedule 15. Interest expenses. That is your schedule 15. What is the interest expenses? Any working for interest expenses? I don't think so. It is given directly. 12 lakh 2,000. So 12 lakh 2,000 is my interest expenses. Then what about the next one? Other expenses, operating expenses. Schedule 16 is operating expenses. Schedule 16 is operating expenses. Add all the operating expenses. So add all the operating expenses. You will get around 2,36,500. Okay. Operating expenses. Working it is schedule 16 working, it is given clearly at the institute material. Please go through the institute material. We are just adding the question. Whatever given in the question, we are writing in the proper format. Okay. Whatever given in the question, we are writing in a proper format. Okay. You have to remember the format first, then you have to write the answer. You have to try the answer later. Remembering format, understanding the items, understanding the nature of item conceptually, then try to write as per the format. Okay. So schedule 16 is over. Then what about the next item as per the format? Provisions and contingencies. Provisions and contingencies. Correct. So I am recording the video by having the mobile in one hand and writing in another hand, so I am not able to write properly actually, due to that reason. So that is why the handwriting is very very poor. So try to understand the situation. So and apologize me for this handwriting, because of the reason I am carrying the mobile in one hand and I am trying to write by going through the mobile actually. Okay. So provision and contingencies. Under that you have two items. One is doubtful debts, another one is tax. Correct. You have two items. What is the doubtful debts figure? You have doubtful debts for 2 lakh rupees, and tax how much provision? 3,50,000. If you add these two things, you will get 5,50,000. Okay. So income minus expenses. What is your total expenses? 19,88,500 is your total expenses. Income minus expenses equal to, what is your total income? 22,37,500 minus 19,88,500 equal to 2,49,000. 2,49,000. So this is your profit. This is your profit for the year. This is your profit for the year. Opening balance profit not given in the question. Opening balance profit not given in the question. Nil. Opening balance profit not given in the question. Hence the total profit is 2,49,000, which does not contains opening profit. Okay. So I will be writing in the next page. So next category is appropriation. Appropriation heading is appropriation, which is there below your P&L account, which is there. It is available in the format also. Please go through. The point is transfer to reserve, 25% reserve. That is the first point. Transfer to reserve. As per the Banking Regulation Act, 25% should be transferred to 25% should be transferred to reserves. Okay. From where we have to transfer? From present year profit. Fine. My present year profit is 2,49,000. My present year profit is 2,49,000. On that I have to calculate 25%. On that I have to calculate. So 2,49,000 into 25% equal to 62,250. Okay. Appropriation. I am transferring from my P&L account. Compulsory transfer. One more question. Please remember. Reserve fund 25%. we have to transfer. One mark question already asked in examination. Any other transfer? Any other transfer not given in the question? So nil. Any other transfer is nil. Then proposed dividend is given in the question or not given? Proposed dividend 10% on 5 lakh. 5 lakh is my face value, total capital. On that 10% equal to 50,000. Okay. Appropriation means you are appropriating from the P&L account. You are appropriating some amount from the P&L account. What is your total opening balance? 2,49,000 is the P&L account total balance. Minus 62,250. Minus 62,250 minus 50,000 equal to 1,36,750 is balance transferable to P&L account. Balance transferred to P&L account. So if you total all these things, 1,36,750, 50,000, 62,250, you will get 2,49,000. Okay. So with this preparation of P&L account is over. Preparation of P&L account is over. Now I will go through the institute answer. I will just show you the institute answer also. See, this is the institute answer. Whatever I wrote, whatever we explained is given in the proper presentation. For presentation, you always prefer the institute answer. See, in the books of Y Bank Limited, they forgot to write form B. You should write, okay? In examination, you should write form B first, heading as a form B, P&L account. Then you have to write all these things, P&L account, everything. Okay, form B. So under the interest income, as per our workings, here schedule 13, they have mentioned 20,22,500. Then other income, all those things as per our format they have mentioned correctly. So the final workings also they have done it. What we have to understand here is this working note. See how they presented. Provision for doubtful debts. Separately you have to put a working note. Assuming bill, there is no opening balance bill discounting, closing balance bill, there is no opening balance bill discounting. You refer our bill discounting problem, you will understand this. What is the meaning of this one, you will understand. And as per point number 3, you refer as per provision of section 17. That also you remember. Section 17 is what actually? As per provision of section 17 of the Banking Regulation Act 1949, amount to be transferred to statutory reserve should not be less than 25% of the net profit. So that's why I transferred 25% of the net from the 25% of the current year profit. Okay. So that is mandatory thing. Then point number 4, it is assumed that dividend has been proposed as per RBI guidelines. That is general thing. And also 5th point, corporate dividend tax is payable when dividend is proposed paid. Okay. So this is the question. Okay. Sorry, this is the working notes. So interest earned. Come to the schedule 13. Come to the schedule 13 breakup. Why I am showing this one is you have to write like this in examination. Schedule 13, how they presented. Schedule 13. The same manner you have to present. The same manner you have to present it. So this is how they presented. See, interest and discount received 20,30,000 minus rebate on bill discounting 7,500. Then 20,22,500. All other items they have written. You also please remember these items and try to write maximum words also. Maximum items you please try to write in examination. Okay. For schedule breakup also. Schedule 14. See, I have written commission, rent received, net profit on sale of investment. They have given a separate item here under the schedule 14 other income. Other items also they have presented. Then they arrived the total figure 2,15,000. Okay. Interest expended. Under that they have written interest on deposit 12,02,000. Like this you should present. See, refer the operating expenses. Total 2,36,500. It is there in the question. They have written all the items here. Okay. Presentation is very, very important. We will go to the next problem now. We will go to the next problem. Preparation of balance sheet is the next problem. I hope all of you having the question with you. If it is not clear in the video, you please refer the material question. So preparation of balance sheet. They are asking us to prepare the balance sheet for the bank. Okay. So under that, debit balance. Debit balance, normally asset or expenses is your debit balance. Correct. So under the debit balance, the first thing is what is given actually. Cash credit. What is the amount? 1218.15. 1218.15 lakhs. Okay. Cash credit debit balance means what? Cash credit debit balance means what? It is a loan provided by the bank. It is a loan provided by the bank. Okay. Loan. It should be presented under the advances. Normally, we will see schedule number. What is the schedule number for advances? We will go through later. Then what is the next thing? Cash in hand. Cash in hand is an asset. Correct. Cash in hand is an asset. What is the schedule number? What is the schedule number? Cash in hand. So cash in hand. What is the schedule number? I think it's schedule 7. We will go through. Cash in hand. Schedule number 7. Okay. So what is the next item? Come to the next item. Next page. Cash with the RBI. Cash with the RBI. What is the schedule number? It is an asset. Correct. Cash with the RBI is an asset. What is the schedule number? We know already. Schedule number 6. Cash with the other banks. What is the schedule number? Schedule number 7. We know already. Money at call and short notice. What is the schedule number? Schedule number 7. It is an asset. Gold. Gold we have to check whether it is an investment purpose or where we have to present. We will go through later. We will understand. Government securities. If it is an investment purpose, it is schedule 8. If it is an investment purpose, it is schedule 8. Okay. If it is an investment purpose, it is schedule 8. Gold or government securities, schedule 8. Current accounts. If it is related to loans and advances, it is schedule 9. If it is related to loans and advances, it is schedule 9. Otherwise we have to go through the schedules. We have to go through the schedule breakup. Then only we will understand. Okay. Premises is what? Naturally, it is a fixed asset. So it is schedule 10. I think it is schedule 10. Correct. Fixed asset is schedule 10. Okay. What is the next item? Furniture is also fixed asset. That is also schedule 10. Okay. Then what? Term loan is loans and advances basically. Term loan is basically loans and advances. So it is which schedule? Schedule number 9. Okay. Term loan is schedule number 9. Come to the credit balance. Credit balance is means income or liabilities or borrowings. Okay. Capital, liabilities or borrowings. That is your credit balance. Share capital is your schedule 1. We know already. Statutory reserves and surplus schedule 2. Net profit for the year before appropriation. We have to do some workings. Profit and loss. Opening balance. Net profit for the year. Profit and loss. All these things are schedule 2 category. Fixed deposit account. Deposits. Credit balance meaning liability. What is the schedule number? Schedule 1 is capital, schedule 2 is resource and surplus, schedule 3 is deposits. Correct. So it is schedule 3. Saving deposit, schedule 3. Current account may be schedule 3. We have to check. Bills payable is current liability. Other liabilities it comes under the other liabilities. So it is schedule 5. Borrowings from other banks. It is also a liability. It is schedule 4. Correct. You have to remember all these items. Okay. Number wise you have to remember. First, what is the nature of item? Whether it is a liability, asset, income or expenses. Then if it is a liability means which schedule. That also you should remember. Before going to the working out the answer, you should try to remember the numbers. You should try to remember the item, nature of item. You should try to remember the schedule number also. Additional information. Bills for collection is given. That is coming under after I think that is next to schedule 12. You have one thing called bills for collection, right? That there we have to present. After the schedule 12 we have to present. Okay, that there is no number for bills for collection. Next to contingent liability we have to present this 18,10,000. What about acceptance and endorsement? What about acceptance and endorsement? It is a bank guarantee. It is a contingent liability. It is a contingent liability, 14,12,000. So this 14,12,000 is also presented under the contingent liability out of the balance sheet. Schedule number 12. We have to present under the schedule number 12. So what is the next item? Claims against the bank not acknowledged as debts, 55,000. What is the meaning? Claims against the bank not acknowledged as a debts. What is the meaning? As I said, there will be a case against banks which is lying in the court. Court only will decide whether this company is in default or not, whether the company will get a favorable judgment or unfavorable judgment. That is based on the court decision. So claims is 55,000 against the bank, but not acknowledged as debt means court is pending under the case is pending in the court. Okay, so the point is this is like contingent liability. 55,000 may or may not payable by the bank. 55,000 may or may not payable by the bank. Hence this is also contingent liability, schedule 12. Okay, then depreciation charged on premises, rupees 1,10,000, furniture 78,000. Okay, so this is the question. This is the question. We have to work out the answer. So form A. Okay, form A, balance sheet. Then you have to write the company name, balance sheet for the year, so and so. Then schedule number, amount. Okay, I am not going to work out deeply. I will be working out here itself. But you have an elaborated answer in the input material. You please go through. Okay, particulars. First item is what? Capital. First item is capital. What is schedule number 1? So capital, you don't have any workings. There is no additional issue of capital, nothing. So directly you can write the figure. Figure is capital 297. Capital 297. So what is the next item? So next item is reserves and surplus. Under that you have statutory reserve. Statutory reserve opening balance is how much? 346.5 plus. Why plus? Why I am adding plus? Why? Because if you read the question actually. First read the question. Statutory reserve is 346.5. After statutory reserve, what is the next item? Please go through the next item. Net profit for the year. Net profit for the year, how much? Net profit for the year before appropriation. Net profit for the year before appropriation. What is the meaning? Net profit for the year before appropriation. Before appropriation means before transfer to reserve, before providing dividend, before transferring to reserve. Okay, that is net profit for the year before appropriation. Before appropriation means before transfer to reserve. This is my profit for the current year. So as per the provision of the banking rules and regulation, we have to transfer 25% from the current year profit. We have to transfer from the 25% from the current year profit. What is my current year profit as per the question? 225 lakhs. 225 lakhs into 25%. 225 lakhs into 25% is how much? 225 lakhs into 25% is how much? 56.25. So opening balance 346.25 plus current year profit. From there you transferred 225 lakhs is the current year profit into 25% statutory reserve equal to 56.25 equal to 402.75. Okay, this is my statutory reserve closing balance. Statutory reserve closing balance. Then come to other reserves. So you have reserves and surplus, you have statutory reserve, then P&L account also, right? P&L opening balance Opening balance given in the question. What is the opening balance given in the question? 618 is my opening balance. Correct? Opening balance 618 plus current year profit. Current year profit is how much? 225. Current year profit is how much? 2 transfer minus transfer to statutory reserve. How much? Current year profit la எவ்வளவு transfer பண்ணிருக்கோம் statutory reserve க்கு 56.25 equal to closing P&L. 618 plus 225 minus 56.25 equal to, so equal to 786.75. If you add 402.75, 402.75 is your statutory reserve, 786.75 is your closing P&L account, equal to total reserve. Total reserve is 1189.5. 1189.5. That is my external figure. Schedule 2. Schedule 2 is 1189.5. Schedule 2 is 1189.5. How? Again I will explain. Statutory reserve opening balance at 346.5. I have to every year I have to transfer 25% from the current year profit. That is rules. 225 is the amount question. 225 is the profit given in the question. That is before appropriation. They have given us a before appropriation. Meaning is nothing is transferred to reserve. Nothing is transferred to statutory reserve. That is the meaning of before appropriation. Nothing is appropriated to reserve and other reserves. Nothing is transferred to statutory reserve and other reserve. That is the meaning appropriation. So 225 into 25% I am appropriating into 56.25 I am adding 346.5 plus 56.25 equal to 402.75. I am adding the statutory reserve balance. Thereafter opening balance P&L account 618. Current year profit is 225. From this current year to before appropriation, current year profit 225 is before appropriation minus appropriation of 56.25, that is the statutory reserve, equal to closing balance 618 plus 225 plus minus 56.25 equal to 76.75 is my closing P&L plus statutory reserve, closing class statutory reserve equal to 1189.5. That is my schedule 2. That is my schedule 2. Okay. Then what about schedule 3? What is schedule 3 actually? Deposits is schedule 3, correct? How many items in the deposits? How many items in the deposit? Please go through the question. So under the deposits you have to write all these items. Current account. Why am I writing current account? Current account credit balance. Current account credit balance means what is the meaning? Current account debit balance means what is the meaning? Current account credit balance means what is the meaning? Current account debit balance means customer is overdrawn the account. Overdrawn the account means overdraft. It is a liability. It is a liability for the customer, asset for the bank. It is a liability for the customer and asset for the bank. Customer has to repay the amount. Current account credit balance means customer is having some money with the bank. Then banker has to repay the money. Current account means demand deposit. As per the schedule breakup, it is demand deposit. Anytime we have to repay the amount. He has deposited some money into the account. Whenever he is demanding, we have to repay. That we have to classify under the demand deposit. That is better. I will write here 780.18. That is my current account 780.18. Why I am presenting under the deposit? Because current account credit balance banker is liable to pay. Why I am presenting under the deposit? Current account, they are keeping some money in the current account. Whenever they want, they should be repay the amount. They deposited the money in the current account. Whenever they are demanding, they have to repay. Banker has to repay. That is called, it is demand deposit. Whenever they are demanding, banker has to repay the amount. Okay, that is demand deposit. What is the next item? Savings banks. In savings account, whatever the amount they are giving, whatever the amount we are depositing in savings account, whenever we want, we can withdraw the amount. That is also a liability for the banker. That I will present on the saving banks deposit. Saving banks deposit, the amount is 675. Okay, amount is 675. Then what about the next one? Next one is fixed deposit. Fixed deposit, there is one more name for fixed deposit is there. You can call it as term deposit. because for certain term it is deposited, for certain term, certain period it is deposited. So after completion of that period only you can claim the amount, you can claim the after the maturity only you can claim from the bank. So what is the amount for that? 775. It is a liability for the banker. Whenever the after the term is completed, the banker has to repay the amount. Okay. So 780.18 plus 675 plus 775 equal to is my total deposit. That is 2230.68. This is my schedule 3. This is my schedule 3 deposit. Total value is 2230.68. What is the next schedule number? First one is capital, second one is reserves and surplus, third one is deposit, fourth one is I think borrowings. Correct? Fourth one is borrowings. What are the items in the borrowing? Please go through the question. Please go through the question. Borrowings, you have only one item. What is the item? Borrowings from other banks. Borrowings from other banks 165 I am directly writing. You have only one item in the question. Borrowing from other banks, that I am writing. Schedule number 4 is over. Then what about schedule number 5? What about schedule number 5? Schedule number 5 is other liabilities. Other liabilities. That is your schedule number 5. Other liabilities and provision. Under that you have only one item. Bills payable, I think. Bills payable is how much? 0.15. 15,000 rupees, I think. 0.15. If you add all these items, all these liability, so the liability side is over. 1 is over, 2 is over, 3 is over, 4 is over, 5 is over. Okay? 5 is over. Please refer the instrument material answer. You will get 388 2.33. 388 2.33. Okay? Then come to the asset side. What is the first number? Schedule number 6. Schedule number 6 is what actually? Cash and balances with RBI. Cash and balances with RBI means cash in hand plus balances with RBI. Both actually. It is not only balances with RBI. Please refer the schedule number 6 breakup. You will have two. You have many things. One is cash in hand is also schedule 6. Balances with the RBI is also schedule 6. Cash in hand is also schedule 6. Balances with RBI is also schedule 6. So cash in hand as per the question, how much? 240.23. Balances with RBI how much? 67.82. So if you add both these two things, you will get around how much? 308.05. Then come to the schedule 7. What is schedule 7? What is schedule 7? Balances with bank and money at call and short notice. Okay? Balances with bank and money at call and short notice. That is the thing. What are the items available? Just go through the question. Please go through the question. So what is the first item? You have cash with other bank. Cash with other bank is how much? 132.81. Money at call and short notice how much? 315.18. And as per the schedule breakup, as per the schedule 7 breakup, current accounts is also presented under the balance with the bank, money at call and short notice. So you please remember, for this purpose only I am asking you to go through the format one time. I am asking you to go through the schedules one time. Okay? So present under the for this category, schedule number 7. So if you do this, you will get 489.99. Total is 489.9. That is your schedule 7. Come to schedule 8. Come to schedule 8. What is your schedule 8? Schedule 8 is what actually? Schedule 8 is Investment. Schedule 8 is investment. Investment means what? I can invest in shares, I can invest in debenture, I can invest in gold, I can invest in government securities, bonds. That is my investment, correct? So under the investment you have government securities, means he is invested. Debit balance means he is invested in the government securities. That is the meaning. Okay, what is the amount? 365.25, that is government securities. Then what else he is invested? Gold he is invested. This is not fixed assets. This is not fixed asset. This is not current asset. Not used for business purpose. That is for investment purpose. Okay. 82.84. Add these two things. How much you are getting? 448.09. 448.09. Okay, 8 is over, then come to 9. 6 is cash with cash and bank with the RBI. 7 is balance with other banks and money at column short notice. 8 is investment. What about 9? 9 is basically advances, that is loans and advances. 9 is your advances. Okay, under the advances, cash credit I have to write. What is cash credit? It is an loan facility offered to the customer, like a bank OD or cash credit. It is like a credit. We discussed in our classroom also what is cash credit. Okay, it is like an overdraft facility. It is like an overdraft facilities offered to the business people. For running the business, they will get this cash credit. If they want, they can use the money. Otherwise, they will not be charged interest. If they use, then only they will be charged interest. That is the difference between cash credit and loan. Loan means we have to disburse the loan and customer has to repay with the EMI. That includes principal and interest. But in case of cash credit, whatever the used amount, for that only the banker will charge the interest. Once the used amount is repaid, the banker will stop the interest, charging the interest. Okay, so that is the difference between term loan and cash credit. Okay, so cash credit is also a type of advances. It's also a type of a loan, but that is the difference. The major difference is, in case of cash credit, only if you use the facility, then only the interest is charged for the used amount. But in case of term loan, the loan is disbursed initially, then we have to repay the loan with the EMI, that is with principal and interest we have to repay. Okay, but in case of cash credit, the loan is not disbursed initially. It is the facility is provided to the customer. If they want, they can use the amount. If they use it, then only will charge the interest. That is the difference between cash credit and loan. Okay, cash credit, what is the amount? 1218.15. Then what about term loan? Advances means loans and advances. Under that, whatever the loans, credit facilities given, we have to write 1189.32. If you add these two things, you are getting around 2407.47. All these thing is available in the material. Okay, for your explanation purpose I am writing here. So what is the next thing? 10. What is the schedule number 10? I think it is fixed assets. It is fixed assets. So fixed asset, for fixed assets, if you go through the question, you have to assume few things actually. So they have given the fixed assets, whether it is an historical cost or whether it is an after depreciation, before depreciation, nothing is given, and also accumulated depreciation is not also given in the question actually. Credit side it is not given, only the asset side, debit side, the fixed asset thing is given. And also in P&L account they have given as before appropriation. Before appropriation means what? It is an which step actually? Before appropriation means after reducing the income expenses, income minus expenses equal to net profit for the year. Okay, that is the before appropriation figure. That income minus expenses includes depreciation also. Income minus expenses includes depreciation also. So they have written down the depreciation, and net profit it is adjusted. Net profit is adjusted, but they have not given the historical cost and accumulated depreciation in the question. They have not given the historical cost and accumulated depreciation in the question. Hence, assuming the question information is given before depreciation. Sorry, the issued question is given after depreciation. That is the final figure. Actually, that is the ultimate answer. But the point is we have to present the depreciation figure also as an additional information. It is given depreciation figure also. For that purpose, what we have to do is premises. So what is the premises amount? So premises amount is after depreciation is given in the question. After depreciation is given in the question. Why? Because accumulated depreciation information is not available, and also P&L it is already adjusted depreciation. So the whatever the figure given under the asset side, it is after depreciation. So 133.55 is an after depreciation, and depreciation figure is given in the question. For premises, how much it is given? It is given 1.1, correct? It is given 1.1. So what will be the before depreciation figures? And then 134.65. 124.65 minus 1.1 equal to 133.55. 134.65 minus 1.1 equal to 133.55. Or else 133.55 plus 1.1 equal to 134.65. Reverse work. 133.55 plus 1.1 equal to 134.65. Reverse work. So premises is over. What else? You have one more asset. Furniture. Furniture also. Depreciation is how much? Depreciation is how much? 78,000, 0.78. 78,000, 0.78. What is the ultimate answer? 95.18. 95.18 plus 0.78 equal to 95.96 lakhs. Okay? 95.18 plus 0.78 equal to 95.96 lakhs. So if you add this thing, you will get, if you add both this thing, you will get 228.73. Okay, add these two things, then you will get the final answer 228.73. This is your fixed assets answer. I think 11 schedule 11 other assets nil. Actually other asset nil. What is the final answer? What is the final answer? Add all the things, add all these things, you will get it. You will get it around, you will get the liability, same thing you will get here, 382.33. Okay, same answer you will get it. Few more step is there, I will explain. So what is the next step? Contingent liability, schedule number 12. This is out of balance sheet. Balance sheet is already tallied. After that I am continuing. Contingent liability, after that I am continuing the next page. Contingent liability 12. How many items? There is 2 items. One is given in the question itself. What are the items? If you add both these 2 items, how much you will get? 14.67. What are the items? What are the items you have actually? One is acceptance bank guarantee, another one is claims. One is acceptance bank guarantee, another one is claim. So that is 14.12 plus 0.55. You will get 14.67. So after this, what actually? Bills for collection. Bills for collection. No schedule number. What is the amount? So bills for collection, what is the amount? 18.1. Okay. So with this, please go through the input material answer. Everything is given clearly. Any doubts you can message me. With this your accounts for banking is over. Out of banking, electricity, insurance, you can expect around 10 to 12 marks for examination totally from these 3 chapters. Out of these 3 chapters, banking is little bit more important compared with the other chapters. And also the previous classes, part 1, part 2, part 3, that is very very important compared with the preparation of financial statement. So all of you please go through. We'll meet in our next class. Okay, thank you.